Hello and welcome to the Queber channel. I am Jason, your host, and I want to talk about the lack of empathy to do with disabled people. I'm 54. I am officially diagnosed with autistic spectrum disorder. I have comorbidities in ADHD and bipolar. I also suffer from PTSD, and I am in remission from bowel cancer. Now, in 2019, I had 5 different people, health professionals, good health professionals, trying to help me. I was on medical watch. I was classified both by my doctor and the mental health teams as a end-of-life risk. The reason being was, after my wife's death, I had lost my anchor. She had been my anchor. She had been my connection to the world. We had spent 18 years just together, and all of a sudden she was gone, and I was on my own. At the same time, my problems just extrapolated and got worse. And I was considering end of life. I was actually planning it out. I watched my last movies. I watched the MCU Endgame and that. I was happy to go because due to one of the quirks of the issues that I was facing, 4 or 5 times a day I was having a PTSD issue, which I would experience my wife's death, the last 30 minutes of her life, at least 5 times a day. Now, I don't care how fucking strong you are, I don't care how amazing you are or how much willpower you have, but if you've ever had someone die who's extremely close to you and your reason for living, and then your brain decides to fucking show you a perfect fucking replica of the event, sound, images and everything, whenever something triggers it, you will not be long for this planet. You will not be long to be able to last. You will be absolutely fucked, to put it lightly. So in the end, we found a good way of dealing with it, and that was technology, coping strategies, VR, gaming. I have thousands and thousands of coping strategies that allow me to survive every day. I live in my safe space in my house, and I don't let anything get involved to stop those. Right, so let's just wait. Just waiting here till we get over here. Okay, and so I created all the coping strategies that helped me, from VR to retro tech to everything that could combat what was going wrong with me. Will never cure me. I will never be able to function well enough to actually have a job or go outside of the house much. The only reason I'm outside the house at the moment is what I am travelling on is my Quingo, which is a customized mobility scooter, a very powerful one, and this is my, how can I put it, mobile safe space. For 5 years after Paola died, I didn't leave my house except for CAT scans and consultant appointments. This was just the way it was. It's only in the last year that I've gained access to the this mobility scooter and the ability to leave my home, which I'm very grateful for. And at the moment we're just on our way to pick up some steak sandwiches for the dogs, so they can have some steak sandwiches. Because Bertie's not doing too well, he's quite old now, and so just want to make sure that we have something. Well, we're talking about here, so mobile, this is an amazing thing for me to leave. Well, most disabled people are stuck in their house. Now, I was hoping, and I really hope, that the empathy of the world would increase after COVID. Because after COVID, you all fucking knew what it was like to be locked down, to be stuck in your house, to not be able to leave. Some of you only had to deal with it for weeks. Others had to deal with it for months. And you whined and you bitched about it and you was complaining all the time. The thing is, most disabled people who can't work, who are in that situation, are stuck in that lockdown for their entire lives. Think about that. It's so easy to feel jealousy or have a go at disabled people because they seem to, they've got more money. Well, yeah, they need more money because for everything they have to do, it takes more effort than it does for you. So for them to just have the same level of life as you, just going over the drink, is a massive, massive challenge. And so, as you all found out when COVID hit, there is a massive difference between staying home when you want to stay home, staying home and having a break, staying home and going on holiday, and being told you can't leave your house. There is a massive difference between being forced into lockdown and not being able to leave your house, not being able to see your friends, not being able to go to your local favourite shop. There's a massive difference between that and just staying home because you want to break. One is by choice, the other is not. So it's always sad to me that the current government in the UK has demonised disabled people so much. They make the average person at work think, oh, look at them, they get more money and they get to stay at home and not do anything. Look at how lazy they are. And this is an example, we're coming up to an example now of one of the problems with going out on a disabled scooter in the UK. Hopefully there's enough room there for me to get this through. But yeah, I don't know whether I'm going to be able to make it through there. So, and I don't think there's any other way round. Okay, so we are not going to be able to make it through there. Is that good? The person's going to come out and... Yeah, I just won't be able to get through there. No problem. So, thankfully, this isn't a uncommon thing to see. But thankfully he was there, so he was... let's see where... Yeah, that's fine. Yay! I mean, these payments are really big, thankfully. But yeah, that's something that disabled people have to challenge of if they go out on a wheelchair or a mobility scooter. But the empathy is really lacking, especially in the UK at the moment. We're being blamed for everything, and the laughable thing is, it's all bullshit. They say that there's they were saying that there was massive amounts of fraud to do with PIP. Now PIP is what's called personal independence payment. It's an amount of money paid to a disabled person that allows that person to live. It's supposed to be spent on anything to do with their disability to help them deal with life, with challenges that you as a non-disabled person don't have to face. Now they were trying to say that there was massive amounts of fraud going on, saying everybody was on PIP and you could go on PIP if you just had a cough or you just had a tiny bit of depression and all this bullshit. Well, their own figures, which were actually ordered and forced to be released via a member of Parliament, showed that only 0.2% of expenditure on PIP is fraud. Only 0.2%. And we're the focus of the witch hunt. Now I can tell you from my experience and from Paola's experience before she died, that getting PIP and staying on PIP is very, very difficult. Very difficult. My wife had incurable cancer. My wife was dying slowly. She had medication which was destroying her ability to walk and everything. And even though she was like that, she had to fight every single year to stay on PIP. When I was going for PIP because of my mental issues, everybody thought it would be so hard for me to get on PIP because it is a standard feature that PIP is denied and then you have to appeal. So imagine, you're a disabled person, you're dealing with anxiety, panic, depression or whatever. You're exhausted because you're facing so many more problems than the world normally faces, and then you're told no, and if you still want it, they bank on the fact that you're too tired and weak to be able to continue the fight. That's why they denied the first time. So I actually had people from my mental health department actually contacting me every week and saying, have you got your result yet, so we can start the appeal process? And that they were so sure that we would have to go through that. But thankfully I had 5 different mental health professionals plus a senior psychologist, all providing information about me that meant that I was actually not only accepted for it but put on severe disability payments as well, which is something that doesn't happen often. So for me to now be able to leave the house on this mobility scooter because it's a mobile safe space, believe me, I can't leave this scooter. I'll tell you and show you an example of that. Last year I bought a canopy before this one, the one that's on here now. And the canopy I bought was one that you fitted yourself. And so I thought, hey, I can go down to the shop and pick up the canopy and then I can put it on. And I can go around with this canopy on because it was going to rain later in the afternoon. Well, I went down there. The nice people at the shop came out to actually see me and I was able to buy the canopy. And the canopy was unboxed for me and then I said, yeah, no problem, I'll fit it, I can do that. what would have been a 5-minute job. Let's go past this. Lots of roadworks and that. My apology for the sound. So, what would have been a 5-minute job actually turned into a 1-hour job. Why? Because every time I let go of my Quingo, every time I had, even though I was only 2 foot away from it, I would start to freeze up and go catatonic, because that's what can happen. My disabilities can mean that if I'm not in my safe space, or I have to deal with someone I don't know, or I have to face something like that isn't normal, or in a mini situation where I've not got complete control, I can go catatonic, freeze up, it can trigger issues for me, and I can end up on the floor. It's a nice car. So yeah. And so yeah. I literally have to plan out my routes when I go out on this to make sure I don't have to leave it. The good thing is it can fit in, I can go into shops, I can go through checkouts, I can do shopping and everything like that without leaving this. And a lot of the places know me, so if I go up to a shop that this doesn't fit in, they will actually come out to me. So that's how I do it. But it's so frustrating, it really is. When you know that most of the people who are on disability are not on it for an easy drive or easy ride. You know, I would fucking love to be in a situation where I could walk out my front door and go to the local shop without having to take this Quingo with me, this mobility scooter. I would absolutely love to have the freedom of just not having to think and plan anything. That I could just get up in the morning, go out to my house and go to a job, that I could earn money in those ways. If I could just say, hey, I'd like to have a bag of crisps, why don't I just walk out to the local corner shop and grab some? I would love that. It would be so fucking amazing to be able to do something like that. I wish that able-bodied people could walk a mile in my shoe to see what I have to deal with every day. I really do. Now I'm going to stop this in a sec, because we're going 20 minutes is as long as these will allow me to think. So I have to stop this and do the second part in a minute. So bye bye for now.